Hey everyone, how's it going? The weather is amazing in Southern California. I am grateful for that. I went on a long walk today. I am grateful for that. Talked to my dad for a while. Saw my therapist today. Grateful for that. But what I'm not grateful for, and I am grateful for in the same sense, is tonight I went to the Chino Valley Unified School District school board meeting, and it's been overran by crazies. In a school board meeting, someone was screaming about abortions, and someone was screaming about religion and what happens with trans. And there was, maybe 1,000 people there, and all because this certain church is like invested all this money to take over the school board, giving people $50,000 to run so that they could load up the school board with their members of their church. And the pastor has sermons where he tells people to go to the school board meetings and protest this and protest that, and no abortions and no gay rights and no trans rights. And it's so scary. This is Southern California. This isn't Tennessee. This isn't Texas. This isn't Alaska where you hear about this crap. This is California. This is Southern California. This is not far from LA. And they had this resolution today where they're requiring anyone that works for the school, if they find out a kid is gay or trans, they have to tell their parents within 3 days. They have to out them within 3 days. And they sit there and they're like, oh, we're doing this because we're protecting the family and we're protecting the children. But yet when a trans child would talk, they would ridicule them and they would put them down and they would tease them and they would yell hateful things at them. And I'm like, so how is that protecting them? And then when it got passed, they started chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." Like, this is love. This is your church. Let's go, Brandon stands for fuck Joe Biden. Okay, you're not man enough to say it, so you come up with this, other thing. But you're at a church function yelling, "Fuck somebody," and that's your religion. There was no signs saying, at least when I was a kid, it was, hate the sin, love the sinner. And at least they were fake enough to pretend that they loved us. These parents weren't doing that. These angry, by the way, mostly white people. The guy that stood up at a school board meeting and said that the number one killer of children is abortion, when he was done with his little speech, he went running through the crowd getting high fives. Is that someone that's sad about something or someone that just wants attention? There was a limited amount of people that could go into the room, and I saw several people in the room that showed up hours after I did that somehow made it into the room. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I was grateful for. The valedictorian of that high school, and I hope to God his graduation speech is as good as his speech before the school board. He ripped them a new asshole, and he's going to yell. He's going to yell. That 17-year-old had more brain cells than everyone on that school board, and he's headed to yell, despite you. But that little trans girl that came up that was so afraid of you guys that she was hiding her face with a fan, and you guys were laughing at her and teasing her and ridiculing her and pushing her when she walked through. She was a child, the child you were supposed to protect. Not one, and when she was crying afterwards, not one of you offered her a hug. Not one of you offered her condolences. Not one of her said, "We will protect you." This is your religion? It's a cult. It's not a religion. Hate is not a family value. Hate is not protecting anyone. You mean to tell me that your gay child or your trans child wants to tell you that they're gay after they watched you chant, "Let's go, Brandon," and screaming and yelling? Who's the snowflake? You're beating up children. This little trans girl weighed as much as my thigh, and you guys were yelling at her, screaming at her. Tough. You know who you weren't screaming at? Was me. You know who you weren't threatening? The 6'3" guy. So who am I grateful for? Every single one of those kids that got up and spoke. First of all, not one child spoke for your stupid bill. They all spoke against it. And they were so eloquent. They had these speeches and this passion, and they were, most of them were straight saying, "What the hell's your problem?" One kid told the board member's name is Cruz, so I'm assuming he's Hispanic. The kid said, "You're even a bad Mexican," is what he told him. Watch the footage. These kids were amazing. And you were mean to them. You were hurtful to them. You were trying to intimidate them from talking. And when the statistic was brought up that the number one killer of children is guns, your answer was, "We need more guns. We're going to all come to we're going to protect the school with more guns." That was your answer. That's what you said. "We're going to have more guns at the school." That was your answer. Well, where are they? Where are they? Great. But instead of talking about that, you talked about abortion and how can we hurt the trans community? Not how can we protect the children? How can we get test grades up? How can we support? Not one of those board members acknowledged that the person speaking to them was the valedictorian. They didn't even acknowledge it. So to the children of that school district, I'm here, dude. You call me, I'm there. 2.3 seconds. My kid used to play water polo against Don Lugo. I know you got it tough there for multiple reasons. And this is just another layer. But I hope if the GSA reaches out to me, I'll raise you a shit ton of money. And guess what? They may have passed their stupid resolution, which, by the way, they don't have any power to pass. They're just passing it to let Sacramento know. They're just showboating so that their leader of their church can get on TV again. That's what this was all about. That's all it was about. The gay guy that got up there and said gays against groomers, they just are looking for Instagram followers. That's all this is about. That's all it's about. You're politicizing children. Trans is the new word to hate. You weren't talking about trans 6 months ago, but now your chief Indian dumbass has said that that's the person to hate today, because that's all you are, is hate, 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 hate. Take away rights and hate. And you do it in the name of religion. You kept saying happy Easter, happy Easter, happy Easter in the middle of Passover. Easter's not till Sunday. So who am I grateful for? I'm grateful for those kids because it gives me hope that your children are smarter than you and that they're going to grow up and this planet's going to be okay, because that kid that's going to yell is going to be your boss in 5 years. That's the truth. To any gay or trans kid in Chino, if anything bad is happening, if you're feeling beat up, bullied, you need anything, reach out to me. Me and my friends will be there. We'll protect you. And if this does pass, we have really good lawyers. It won't last. Don't worry about it. We got your back. You pissed off the homo. I'm going to raise some money now. Talk to you later. Bye.